here, and as you can see, I got a little bit of a haircut. I'm not wearing my hoodie. I shaved a little, and it was my birthday this week, and I was going to see my mom, so I figured, might as well clean up a little bit. It's been a while since I actually put a razor on this face, but that is not why I am doing this video. This video is about fuel, race fuel specifically, and don't mess around with it. If it's questionable, replace it, get rid of it. I'm going to switch over to the cart here in a second so you can see what I'm talking about. But there's also, I had another video I'm going to do right after this on caster camber pills for an Intrepid chassis. But that's not this video. That's the next video. But I had to grab the parts before I forgot. So let's get to it. I'm going to switch the camera around. There we go. So this weekend, February 1st, there is a swap meet out at the Blue Max Kart Club. And I keep letting my dad down. Last time we were going to go out to the track, I was having a brake issue with his carts, and it was questionable, and I wasn't going to risk it because they were brakes. So got everything resolved, but what had happened was I fired everything up, and I let gas sit in the cart, sit in the fuel lines, sit in the carburetor, which is a huge no-no, especially if you're in California. We get to run that wonderful blend of ethanol and gasoline, etc. So it just eats the shit out of carburetors and the components. So I'm going through everything, cleaning it up. Again, if I would have just drained it, sprayed it out at the track or at the shop last time I had just fired it up, it would have been no big deal. I could have primed the system again, fired it up. We all would have been good. But I didn't do that because I figured, we'll go out to the track next week. But I don't care. Make it end of the day prep. Drain the carb, blow the fuel back into the tank, okay? And the reason you're not going to mess around with old gas, and I'm speaking from experience because I've personally done it, I've seen customers do it, it just leads to a big headache. So this is a Briggs & Stratton package. Here in Northern California, the spec fuel is pump gas. And what they do is they'll say, okay, you need to go to the Chevron on Mesa Boulevard, and we're going to run 91 for this race. That's how the race series do it. That's where they get their samples. That's how they tech the fuel. But like I just said, the fuel here in California is just crap. So it's not very shelf stable. If you smell it and it doesn't smell like gasoline, but it smells like varnish or something off-putting, drain it. Get rid of it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to try to run old gas because you're a little bit on the cheap side or you're in a rush. The engine's going to start backfiring. It's going to pop. It's not going to run right. Or if it's eating the fuel line, I've seen this before, it eats the fuel line, and you get these big gel globs inside the fuel line. Well, fuel system 101, okay? The pickup is inside. Here, I'll show you. That white tube right there, that's the fuel pickup. At the bottom, there's a piece of steel or brass that acts as a weight. That hangs at the bottom, okay? Any sludge, any residual, you two-stroke guys, if you haven't fired up your engine in a while, just drain the gas. Don't screw around. Drain it. All that sludge is going to be in the bottom end. You're going to fire it up. It's going to travel through the fuel line. If you have a filter, hopefully it'll catch it in the filter, and then everything will shut down. You'll be frustrated, but all you have to do is replace a fuel filter. But if it goes past the fuel filter into the pump, into the carb, it doesn't take much to clog a jet in a carburetor. It doesn't take much for that clogged jet to keep the engine from running properly, okay? So, if I would have done this, I'm embarrassed to say, I think it was a year ago. My dad tends not to want to drive in the summer, and I'm pretty sure it was a year ago. I'm afraid to look because of just how fast time flies by. I had fired everything up on the cart stand. I was setting pressures. I was getting some heat into the brakes because we hadn't driven in a while. That's why I noticed we had a brake issue I wasn't comfortable with. I shut it down. I was frustrated because I had to cancel the track day. Fuel sat. Okay. That's where we're at in this video. The fuel sat. Fast forward about a year. I should have drained it right away. I didn't. So when I removed the float bowl, of course, there's a bunch of sludge and varnish in there because the gas evaporated and the good chemicals were left behind just sitting in the float bowl. So I put this in the cleaner. Then I also did a hot soap and water bath to clean it out. I'm going to replace this fuel line because this one had dried out and it was real loose on the fitting. And I didn't want gas dripping on the top of the engine just because it makes everything dirtier. But I've done it, friends. I've done it. I've tried doing the cheap route. I've tried doing the shortcuts. And at the end of the day, instead of me just coming in today, putting gas in here, priming the system, pulling the pull start, and firing up the engine, I had to go through the carburetor. These fuel lines were brand new when I replaced them last year. This one was also brand new, but it was just loose on the fitting, so I'm replacing it. But again, a little bit of maintenance last year, I could have had this thing running in 5 minutes. So instead, I'm about an hour and a half into it because I had to go through the carburetors. That's a little fictional because I also had, 7 more Briggs carburetors I've been meaning to clean and go through. So I did go through all of them all at the same time. And some of them are still sitting in the soap to clean up. And I have the jets out of all of them in a vinegar bath to help remove the varnish off of them. But yeah, so that leads me to fuel jugs. And these nifty little fuel jug labels. So if you go to the website, extrakartparts.com, you can buy fuel jug labels to mark your fuel jugs, okay? I'm getting ready for the swap meet. I just want all my fuel jugs to be the same. So I'm going to sell all the old fuel jugs that I have. Except for that one. I just filled that one up with fresh gasoline. So that has fresh gasoline. But you'll notice this VP container, it says shit mix parts washing only. The date is a question mark. The fuel question mark. Oil ratio question mark. This is just old bad gas. I put it in there. I use it for cleaning the grease off of bearing hangers and stuff like that, as if it's real bad, or chain lube off the chassis. And then I go back over the chassis with Molecule or other cleaning products to give the finish a much nicer finish. But these labels are very helpful. So you find them on the website. When they ship out with a reusable stainless steel, I almost said necklace, but straps, so you can clip them on, clip them off the different fuel jugs. You'll see on one side it says not mixed. So that's my fresh fuel, not mixed. I just bought the fuel 10 minutes ago from Chevron 91. There's the date. This is my mix, my old fuel jug. I grabbed these because I have 2 more new pails of gas. One is mixed, VP 110, mixed with Maxima 927. And the other one is not mixed. So I'm going to label those while I'm making this video. But don't screw around. If you have bad fuel, just get rid of it. If the cart's popping, hesitating, the fuel smells bad, replace the fuel. Just do it. It's what? I'm in California, so it's $5 a gallon. Please hold. It just switched me over. Antonov. Yes, this is a go-kart. There's a Burrell. A Burrell chassis with a Briggs & Stratton LO206, which stands for Local Option 206. So yes, this is a go-kart. But yeah, so if the fuel's questionable, just get rid of it. If you don't know if it's questionable, get rid of it. Like I said, I have this jug here. I just keep about 3 to 5 gallons around the shop just for cleaning up really greasy stuff. It cuts through chain lube. It cuts through old engine oil. It cuts through a lot of stuff. But being that, the stuff I use here is also mixed, that's why I go back over it with Molecule products to clean the frames. But there you have it. I hope you find this video helpful and just more of clarification. If it's questionable, get rid of it. It's going to save you a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of headaches. All right, everyone. Have a great day, and maybe I'll see some of you at the SWAT meet February 1st, Blue Max Kart Club.